Hello, we're back with the Memory Lane Garage, and we got the Jeep Willys here today. We're still working on it, and I'm going to talk about what we've been doing. So we took the front fenders off, we got the hood removed, but it wasn't a whole lot to bolt some fenders on. There's like 6 bolts on each side. The hood just slides in here. But anyway, we wanted to get some paint on here. So we're going to put some primer on here today, and that's our main goal for today. So we moved a lot more stuff, as you can tell. We took the fenders off, took a lot of the stuff off the back firewall area. We had the fuel pump and all that stuff back there. We took it all off. It's actually been painted and ready to put back on. So once we get some paint on here and it dries, we can start assembling some of this stuff back. Back here in the back, we took some little sandpaper and did some of the flooring, and we taped off the whole Jeep so we don't get any overspray on the outside of this Jeep, because the paint on the outside of this Jeep is still pretty good. Actually, the paint on the floor was still pretty good, but we're going to go ahead and reshoot it. We're going to match this paint here later. If we had a few issues, and we're going to correct those. So all the seats were removed. I didn't talk about that. We removed all the seats out of it, removed the fuel tank out of it, removed all the fuel lines on it. We're going to replace the fuel line on this. They had the fuel lines wrapped up over underneath the exhaust pipes over there, and I think it was getting hot on the fuel line and causing my fuel to be to kind of evaporate in the line. It was hard starting. So we're going to shorten that fuel line up. We're going to run it really nice and neat underneath there, and it's not going to be out anywhere close to the exhaust. And that would be good, because we don't really want to fire when we're driving this. So we raised it up because underneath the Jeep we're also going to do the undercarriage. 2 years ago we pulled the front axles and everything off. We pulled the four-wheel drive assembly and the springs off. We had them all painted off 2 years ago, and we got them back on here. I don't want to take all this back off, because when I do, I'm going to have to loosen and take off the brake lines, and we got them all bled off, and they're working good. I really don't want to jack with the brake lines, so we're going to leave them on there. I masked it all off, and we can just shoot this the way it is. All right, so that pretty much wraps up what I've been talking about. I already won a second place trophy with it this year with the way it looks. So we're going to finish it up and make it look a lot better and correct some of the issues and get those taken care of. While we got the engine and everything out, this is the time to do it. So stay tuned, and we're going to get some paint on here. So I've already primed underneath. This is an oxidized primer, so it's a pretty hardy primer, but it takes forever to dry. It's going to at least take 12 hours to dry and 24 hours before I can recoat. Kind of got a little carried away up here. So your main thing is you want to keep your hose out of it. So you want to kind of step your way forward or back, whichever direction you're headed. So I worked from inside out. And got a little carried away up front here, so I got to be careful not to get the hose in that front rail, so I've already primed that. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and shoot this area here and work our way to the frame to the front. I'm putting it on pretty heavy. Trying to prevent it from running, but I'm putting it on pretty heavy. I want it to cover really good. I'm gonna go to the other side and then I'm gonna work the rail forward. That's going to cover pretty good, I think. Might have to make some more. Little brackets and stuff is going to be a little tricky. This is where you can get little runs. This kind of framer is pretty easy to put on. Alright, so I'm up here to this rail up here. I'm going to stop here. I'm going to reassess it. Just a second. I'm going to get this frame rail all the way up here, and we'll pause the video. I'll reassess it. I still got to do the inside rail over here. I'll just shoot that now before I get painted here, otherwise I'm going to get into it. So we're moving forward. We got all this done underneath, pretty much done as we can. Really, we covered it really well. It helped getting this up in the air. So the battery tray, normally all this stuff would be off if I could take it off, but it's welded. It's welded on there, so I'm not going to even try to take that off. So I wanted to get the primer on there to really cover it and try to blend that in really good so the paint would look really good and smooth on it. It looks like it's going to. For 68 years old, if you look at this, I mean, this is really good shape for the age of this is. It's got a little bit of issues. We fixed some of those issues. And now we're getting some paint primer on it. We're going to paint it and we're going to preserve it the best we can without tying a ton of money in it. And we're already over budget. I mean, we put more money in it now, we're probably going to get out of it. So, if we were ever to sell it. But we want to do it right, the best way we can with what we have. And that's what we're doing. So, I didn't want to replace the whole body cab on it. It cost me way too much money to do that. And really, this one's really good shape. So, we're going to go ahead and finish up painting it, primer on this, and letting it dry. The bumper's already got paint on it, so we really don't need primer. We are going to dress it with new paint, but the primer is just for the paint to bond to. Paint's already there. Hopefully I'm not painting my hoist. I'm sure I'm getting a little overspray on it. I should have covered that with a sheet, but we're going to look this over, see what we missed. We're going to do a little bit in here. I'm about out of primer myself, so I don't know if I might have enough to do all of it. But I want to do some of it on the floor. And up under here, we covered the dash because the dash really looks really good. We didn't want to get paint on that steering wheel, so we covered it. But it's coming along, so that's going to look really good, I believe. I mean, it's all blending in like it should. I'm really happy with it. Take a little bit of air break here, give me a little break from this, and we're going to finish up where we left off. So that's what it's going to look like if you want to get a shot of that. That's just the primer coat. We'll get some paint on it. It's going to look really good. So we just pretty much done with everything that I'm going to do today. I even did some other parts, and I'll show you that in just a minute. I don't want to get into this. It's still tacky, it's still wet. It takes a long time to dry. I was fighting the wind today a little bit. There was no wind when I started, and as I progressed with putting some primer down, the wind picked up a little bit. Normally, it'd be a good idea to do this inside. The primer I was using just sticks to everything. It's nasty stuff. I want to do it outside. It's really hardy. It's got the oxidizer in it to help for rust and stuff. And it really covered this really good. I'm really pleased with how it covered. We sanded it down, got this pretty good, and then got it to be ready for the primer, and it really turned out really good. I'm really happy with it. So, 2 years ago when I pulled the axles, I did this half part out because we pulled these axles out. I couldn't do under here because the transmission was there, and I couldn't do in here because the engine was there. Now with all that out, I was able to do all this, and so we just picked up where we left off 2 years ago and just finished all the way up to here, basically. And I'll show you on the video what we completed. So 2 years ago, if you look under here, all this black and everything, you probably can't tell it real good. We did this a few years ago. If I get it. And even underneath the floor. So I'm gonna cut this off pretty quick. I gotta get this gun cleaned up. If you don't clean your gun up, you really gotta clean them up really good, or otherwise it ain't gonna work the next time you use it. All these moving parts, the hose in here, it all gets plugged up with nasty paint, or it gets hard particles in there, and it's gonna make your next paint job really bad. It won't spray evenly. You gotta take this gun basically apart, clean it out really good, take the nozzle, spray nozzle off, clean it out, squirt some stuff through that hose, use either mineral spirits or some kind of solvent in there, and flush through the hose and everything, get all that out of there. It takes a long time to clean this up, but it needs to be done, and I need to do it before it dries. There's a little paint left. I was going to do my wheels, but I don't have enough primer for the wheels. This is off my Mustang, one of my Mustangs. There's spare wheels for that. I'll have to do them another day. I figured if I had enough primer, I'd go ahead and do them. These are your GT slotted wheels. Those are my main wheels. And then these other ones here are my for the spare tire. I had them we sandblasted them. I was gonna go ahead and put some primer on them, but I don't have enough. These are my fenders. These are the inside engine compartment. And so we cleaned those up, we got some primer on them. And then if you look under here, this is what we did last time we had the front axle apart. Now where these bolted, I had to shoot some primer in there, and I'm gonna retouch this up. This was all undercoated and repainted 2 years ago. So I'm just gonna put some black. When I paint this black, I'm gonna shoot this again black, and it's all gonna blend in fine, but I won't have to do anything with it. It's already ready to go. Just shoot some black on it. It's gonna look good. Same with the other one. I've been on this painting for a while. It's about wore me out. We're gonna get this cleaned up, get the hoses wiped down. The air hose got to be wiped down. It's got overspray on it. I have overspray on me. I got old clothes on for that reason. And we're gonna get cleaned up and put stuff away and be ready for the black paint in 24 hours. Hi buddy. So this includes our primer coat on the Jeep, and we'll be posting this video, and be sure to like and share and subscribe to my video if you like it, and I thank you for watching.